Welcome back to the Swang Low Podcast Show. It is yours truly, Crip. What's happening with all my people out there in the wonderful world tonight? Welcome back to this round table, man, for another edition, you know what I'm saying, of a particular story that I wanted to bring to y'all. But before I get to that, let me say this. I appreciate all of y'all, man, for showing up when I ask y'all, you know what I'm saying, to approach the round table, you know what I mean, with whatever topic, with whatever story, whatever I bring to this round table, y'all always show up faithfully. And I love and appreciate you all, man, for doing that. You know what I'm saying? To all the new subscribers, I appreciate you, love you, embrace you wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Right here in this heart, right here. Thank you all, man. You know what I'm saying? And to all the new viewers, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Swang Low Podcast Show. It's all for free. It's all for free. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button if you feeling what's being presented to you. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel that inspired by what you hear, you know what I'm saying? Drop a comment in the chat or in the comment section. You know what I mean? Hey, it all goes to the cause of building this channel up. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you hear, you're a supporter, right? If not, you're just a hater that's, you know, in the nosebleed stands that's here, you know what I'm saying? Listening to whatever. And hey, all that shit count though. You know what I'm saying? It all count regardless. So thank you all, man, for joining us. Thank you all, you know what I'm saying, for picking this show to come spend an hour with. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, and subscribe to the Swing Low Podcast Show. Crip. I love and appreciate you all. Okay, now getting to the topic. I wanted to bring this story to y'all, man, because I don't think that the public understand that a lot of people that tend to come to jail or prison, they bring a lot of bad habits with them. They bring a lot of bad habits with them, right? Now, what you are on the streets typically is what you're going to be in jail, right? To a certain degree. To a certain degree, right? If you're a dope fiend, you're going to bring that habit in jail with you. If you're an alcoholic, you're going to bring that habit in jail with you. You know what I'm saying? If you're a sex fiend, you're definitely going to bring that habit in jail with you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happens by chance in prison. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of people that's confined in a particular space, you know what I'm saying, that carry a lot of demons. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people bring a lot of demons with them on their journey. You know what I'm saying? In prison or anywhere in life, you may happen to travel throughout your journey. You know what I'm saying? This has been my experience on different with so dealing with so many different mentality types. You know what I mean? And trust me, to a certain degree, you have to be part psychologist when dealing with so many different mentality types from all walks of life that's thrust together in a small confined space. Prison isn't that big. You know what I mean? Prison is not that big. Although there's a lot of facilities, you know what I'm saying, around the state of California and throughout the world, period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about California. I'm talking about on a national scale as far as prison go. You know what I'm saying? The system is not that big. You know, you find it where you go to one facility and you end up in the next, you realize it's no different from the last place you've been. You know what I'm saying? The politics are basically the same. The program is basically ran the same. Everything is basically like in accordance to, how one prison is to the next. You feel me? So, but in this particular instance, man, I remember being in Corcoran State Prison, SATF, Sea Yard. And um, in this particular instance, it was this dude from Whisset Avenue, Gangsta Crip, right? I'm not gonna say his name, but this story really revolves all around him. And the reason why I bring this story to y'all, like I always say, it's a teaching moment for what you would find yourself being caught up in. You feel me? By allowing your demons to be exploited. And in this particular instance, this dude had a major drug habit. His major drug habit was crystal meth. And, you know, I don't know if the public understand how deep, you know, one's drug pop problems can become in prison or in jail, period. You know what I'm saying? As of late, I've seen a story about a number of people dying in the LA County jail off of spice. You know what I mean? And you know, a number of people falling victim to this drug, right? Hey, it's nothing new. You feel me? It's nothing new. It's just getting publicized now. You know what I mean? Hey, I've seen people die off of smoking spice. But y'all got to remember, fentanyl is in everything now. So it ain't really no drug safe. You have to be careful on what you indulge in. But even more so if you are incarcerated indulging in these drugs. Because niggas go get drugs from whoever they can get them from. And they not telling you what they are lacing these drugs with when they give it to you. All they trying to do is get the sale. Sell this shit, get it off. Bam, I'm done with it. Once I get it off, I'm done with it. Whatever happens after that happens. That falls on the man that bought this shit. Just so happened to be a nigga that this particular drug is going to that's going to end up to somebody that's incarcerated, right? Now you might have gotten a bad batch or an extremely potent batch. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of people end up dying and overdosing on these drugs incarcerated. Because a lot of these dudes that's incarcerated, they exploit their demons in these drugs by overindulging. You feel me? You overindulge in this shit, you know what I'm saying? And to a point where it's not registering to you that you should stop doing this at a particular time because it's taking you out of your element, right? Okay, but this dude, this one particular dude from Whisset Avenue, Gangsta Crip, right? He ended up indulging in crystal meth. And at this particular time, this dude had done that shit and he was high for days, right? Probably 4 days he was high off. He was up and high off that shit for 4 days straight. No sleep. So just imagine, you know what I'm saying, the hallucinations that come with that of being sleep deprived. You know, they don't really eat off that shit. They don't do nothing. You just up and you high off this shit. And it got your mind and your body functioning at a rate that it's not used to. You know what I'm saying? So eventually you start hallucinating and seeing shit and hearing shit. Well, this one particular dude, the drugs start affecting him to the point where it became a point where, okay, he had a cell phone and his next door neighbor was one of the main shot callers for the Southside Mexicans. He used to let this dude use his phone. The dude from Whisset Avenue. He used to let the Southsider Mexican use his phone. So I guess when the Southsider used his phone, he didn't delete his phone numbers, conversations, or nothing. I guess he left that stuff in there. So when the dude from Whisset Avenue got his phone back, he go through his phone and he see these phone numbers or whatnot, and I guess he realized that one of the numbers in there was a woman. Now, whether he knew that this woman was the Southsider's wife or not, I don't know. But again, this is a person that was always high off of crystal meth. And remember, he was up for days. So I guess he let the Southsider use his phone. He get his phone back. He see this number in there. It's a woman. He starts shooting a shot at this woman. He starts sending her pictures of his private parts, talking, extremely reckless about her husband, who was the Southside Mexican, by the way, one of their main shot callers, by the way, right? This is a black Crip doing this. Now, come on, man. Not only is that a violation in any setting, whether you're in prison, in society, anywhere, right? That's just something you don't do. You're doing this to another man's wife. I don't know if she was receptive to this shit or not, right? As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, I don't think she said anything to her husband about it. I believe she probably brushed it off, you know what I'm saying, and left it alone because she understood where it could go. But him, the Whisset Avenue Gangsta Crip, in his drug-fused mind, is not seeing things correctly and clearly. He don't see the violation that he's doing. How could you if you are high out of your mind and you've been up for 4 days straight? Every time you indulge in this drug, he was getting his own drugs. It wasn't being supplied to him. He was getting his own shit, right? And I'm going to get into that. You're going to understand how all that works into this story. So he's indulging in this drug days on end. He can do this drug whenever he wants to because he's his own supplier. So I guess it got to a point where he ended up having some type of confrontation with a couple of homies from Watts, right? The homie Rock Nitty from Front Street Watts, and I can't remember his celly name. He was also from Front Street Watts. He had some type of confrontation with these two guys, right? Now, the confrontation was one-sided because they had said nothing to him, but his hallucination off of those drugs had him so far gone to where he jumped the gun and he wrote them dudes what we will refer to in prison a kite. To the rest of the world, it's like a letter, right? But in prison, that's referred to as a kite. He wrote them a kite, and he told them in that kite, how I know this because they sent me the kite, and I read it myself. But he told them in that kite that he believed that they was telling on him. So in return of that, he had his mother call into the prison, telling on them. Them being Rock Nitty and his celly from Front Street Watts. He had his mama calling up to the prison telling on these dudes, and we wondering why they was always getting hit. We wondering why you had police from the streets running in there raiding that motherfucker non-stop. You know what I'm saying? These particular dudes. The whole time he was behind it. You feel me? So he admitted to all this. Yeah, I believe y'all telling on me. You know what I'm saying? So I had my mama calling up here telling on you, bitch ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all get. Any loss y'all took, that's what the fuck y'all get. This is what the kite saying. I read this shit. I'm like, wow. Now, I believe that they probably had a play put in motion after they received this kite saying this. It was, little talks going around about this shit, right? So me, I'm conscious of the situation and I'm staying as far as away as I possibly could from the guy from Whisset Avenue. Rock Nitty and them, I knew them. You know what I'm saying? I knew them. So I dealt with them. That's how I even got the kite because they sent it to me. They wanted to make me aware of this shit, right? So I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So bam, that's day one. Day two, the homie Baby Loke Ron from Great Street Watts, he come get at me. He like, hey, shout out to Baby Loke Ron too, by the way. That's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Great Street Watts. But look, he come get at me. He's like, hey, cuz. He like, you been over there by old boy Sil? He like, that nigga in there socking himself up and shit. That nigga in there high as a motherfucker off that shit. I said, nah, I ain't been over there and I ain't going over there. I'm cool. He like, man, somebody need to go holler at this nigga, man, and try to calm this nigga down. He in that motherfucking cell tripping. Now he was in the cell by himself. I'm not finna be the one to go over there. I cannot talk rationale into a person that's extremely high out their mind that's been up for days on end. Nobody can. But this is what we dealing with. I made it my personal business not to go nowhere near this man's cell, right? But we did have that conversation. So bam. Now the talks is already out there on this dude is trying to put a snitch jacket on Rock Nitty and his celly. So I think, they was pretty much trying to formulate a plan on how they was gonna get at this dude, right? I wasn't involving myself in it, in all honesty, because he didn't write the kite to me. You know what I'm saying? They sent it to me and I read it because they wanted to make me aware of it. But I had nothing to do with none of that. I didn't deal with this dude from Whisset Avenue. You feel me? He had no parts in my daily life program or any of that shit. So I didn't deal with him. That was a problem that I looked at like, oh, well, damn, how they gonna go about dealing with this shit? This is some crazy shit. This is nasty work. Extremely nasty work. This is what I'm thinking. I'm even the cell talking to my celly about it, who was from Long Beach 20s. Shout out to Stick. You know what I'm saying? Stick from Long Beach 20. He was related to my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying? That's her uncle. You know what I mean? He just so happened to have been in the cell with me. So bam, we in there like he really didn't fuck with nobody. You know what I'm saying? He was cool on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So he was all the way out the way. But look, we talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm staying away from that. I don't want no parts of it. So this one particular day, man, this is probably day 3 of everything, right? Now, remind you, he's in there high out of his mind off of crystal meth. 4 days up with no sleep. This nigga seeing all kind of monsters and ghosts and all kind of shit. But this particular day, which ended up going into the nighttime because everything happened at night. Bam. I remember night coming. Now I worked. I was a porter. So I worked in the building. which means I'm able to go inside of it's in a 180 setting. That's high maximum security, level 4, right? You have 3 pods. You got A pod, B pod, and C pod, right? We was in A pod. So was the dude from Whisset Avenue Gangsters. He was downstairs from me. So this particular night, I had to go to work. Had I not had to go to work, I wouldn't have never went out. I would have never went out that night had I not had to go to work. And just so happened, they opened my door that night. Now, by chance, I don't know what it was, because usually in that setting, I always kept a strap on. Always. Always. There's no compromise on that. But this particular night, for whatever reason, I didn't take my strap out with me. That one particular night, I did not take my strap out with me, right? And no other blacks, no other Crips went out that night, right? No other Crips went out that night. It was a whole bunch of Asians. It was probably about 10 Asians that went out, and then some Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? And dude from Whisset Avenue, he go out. So really, he was the only black, the only Crip that was in the day room that night until I came out. Now, by him being high out his mind, up for 4 days, tripping. And by the way, but before I get to that part, in that kite, that he wrote to Rock Nitty them, he also admitted to hollering at the Southsider's wife. I can't leave that out. He admitted in that kite that he wrote to Rock Nitty them, to Rock Nitty and his celly, that he hollered at that Southsider's wife, and that he showed her pictures of his private parts. And he said that she was receptive to it. This is what he was saying in that kite. Can't leave that part out, right? Hold on, y'all. Okay, I had to sneeze. I didn't want y'all to see that. But look, he admitted to all this shit in that kite. Damaging evidence, because the Southsider didn't know nothing about it. None of the Crips definitely didn't know nothing about it. Nobody had a clue. He admitted to all this in that kite because he was so doped up off the crystal meth, up for 4 days, seeing ghosts, you know what I'm saying? Seeing shit that wasn't there. He admitted all this in a fucking kite. So bam, let's go back to that night. He's in the day room and they call me out for work. Bam, I go out, I look around, I'm like, damn, ain't no other blacks out here, ain't no homies out here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna go ahead and go about my night as I usually do. Do what I got to do, then I'm gonna take my shower, and then I'm going back in. Go back in the cell. I go downstairs. I see dude from Whisset Avenue. He's the only other black out there. So I'm like, oh, okay, damn. So he noticed me coming down the stairs. I noticed him. So bam, me being who I am, you know what I'm saying? I sing, what's up, homie? You know what I'm saying? Bam. I'm trying to do it moving, right? Bam. I go shake his hand, shake his hand. I'm getting ready to walk off. And he like, what's happening though? So I turn around, I'm like, huh? He's like, what's happening? I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, what you talking about? Right? So I'm like, he's like, I'm with whatever you with. So I'm like, what? That's when he started reaching inside his pants. Once I noticed his hand going inside his pants, I start walking up on him. I'm getting closer and closer. You know what I'm saying? I'm trained to watch body language, to watch your demeanor, everything. I already know that this person has been high off of this drug for 4 days straight because I've been hearing about it. And I also know about the kite that he wrote to Rock Nitty and his celly from Front Street Watts. So now it's like, okay, this nigga reaching in his pants. You only reach inside your pants for one thing. Excuse me. You only gonna reach in your pants for one thing like that. So I'm making it my excuse my background. I'm making it my business to get as close as I possibly can on this dude because you're reaching in your pants. And if your hand come out with the wrong thing, because now all my focus is on that, I got to do what I got to do. I don't give a fuck who it is, right? And by him saying what he said to me is what raised my attention back on him. So once I had turned around and he started saying what he's saying, now I'm walking up on him. Then you start reaching your hand in your pants. Oh yeah, I got to close this distance off between me and you. You feel me? So bam, once he start pulling his hand out of his pants, I see the handle on the knife that he had. So once I seen the handle, there's no way I'm gonna allow you to get that out this motherfucking out your pants and do something to me without me getting off on you first. So I took off on him. Bing, 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 bing. Now, I don't know how many of y'all have ever had a fight, confrontation with somebody that was high off of crystal meth and had been up for 4 days, seeing ghosts and zombies and whatever else you see off of that drug. But I'm gonna keep it real. When I got off on him, it felt like the punches really had no effect on him because he still pulled the knife out, but we fighting now. He can't use the knife because I'm on him and we're fighting. He's trying to fight back. He can't use the knife though, right? So now it's like I don't have my knife, he got his. We fighting. I gotta lock him up. I gotta figure out a way to lock him up get this knife from him if possible, and then have my way with him. But in the midst of battle like that, where that man have a knife and you don't, you get off on him and it seemed like it had no effect on him. Now y'all in the midst of a real battle, right? Me and him, we it seemed like everybody got out the way. Like there was nobody else around, but it was a whole bunch of people in the day room. But when that happened, nobody was around, right? So, and it seemed like me and him was fighting all over the day room. It was some movie shit. And by the way, it was footage of that. And it's probably footage online somewhere because niggas was recording. My nigga Rock Nitty them was recording that shit. So it's footage somewhere around online of me and this nigga going at it in the day room on the set. You know what I'm saying? It's somewhere online, man. You know, but look. So in my head, I'm like, damn, I know he got this knife. So while we tussling, you feel me? It was like a movie, I swear to God. While we tussling, bam. This nigga was strong off that shit. If you ever fought a crystal meth head one-on-one in a one-on-one battle with a knife, then you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, right? But like this nigga had superhuman strength, or which it seemed like to me in the heat of that battle, right? But anyway, so I found it in a moment of um there's tables in the day room, right? It's like 3 or 4 tables in the day room. So while we fighting all over the day room, eventually I end up on a table, like my back up against the table to where he is like right here, but I'm back on the table. So this was the golden opportunity in my head. I'm like, I got to isolate one of his hands, whichever one I'm able to get, I got to isolate this shit. You know what I'm saying? So just so happened his free hand that didn't have the knife in it, I grabbed that motherfucker. I had the other one locked up with this one. I grabbed it and his thumb. I took his thumb and bam, in my mouth and had a lock on that motherfucker. He couldn't use that hand. So now, once that hand is locked up, he couldn't use it. I had it in my mouth, locked. Teeth just, you know what I'm saying, down to the bone. To the bone, right? That's locked. He can't use it. Now all he got is that hand with the knife in it. So I maneuver that hand, bend his wrist to the point where he ended up dropping the knife on that table right next to me. Once I heard that knife drop, bling, I looked, then I looked at him in his eyes, and I told him, I said, "Oh, you through now, nigga. You through." And he looked off to the side and seen that he didn't have that knife no more. And that's when I went to work on him. Wait, before I went to work on him, right? I swear to God, knife is sitting right next to us. Once I was able to get it and bent his wrist up, you know what I'm saying? I had his wrist bent up and twisted like this, bro. So it was nothing. He had to drop the knife, which he did, and it landed right next to us. So I took my arm and swiped it off the table. The knife went flying off the table. Mind you, while all this is going on, it's about 8 police correctional officers standing. They didn't come inside the day room. They're standing in the door where you enter and exit the day room. screaming, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, right? I got shot in the leg with the block gun, which I still had a score on the back of my leg to this day, right? They shooting at us and all this shit, but they would not come in. But when he dropped that knife, I took my arm and swiped it off the table. So that motherfucker went flying across it, off the table, across the floor. They seen this shit. Swear to God, they seen all that. So they didn't know if I had the knife or he had the knife. They didn't know, right? So bam, the knife go flying. That's when I went to work on Cuz. He tried to run around the day room and all this shit. I'm chasing him. I swear to God, there's footage of this. Baby Loke Ron them had the footage of this. So did Rock Nitty and his celly from Front Street Watts. And they put it online. Bullshit you not, right? Knife go flying. Bam, I went to work. This nigga's running all over the day room. Finally, they come in and they stop everything. The COs, police, right? Now, had that not been me, that would have been somebody. He didn't, I don't think he necessarily had a specific target in his mind. I think he would have tried that on anybody, especially if they was black and went to that day room that night. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, I had a couple of scratches. You feel me? That I still have to this day, like on the top of my head. It's probably like 2 or 3 scratches visible from that incident. But he did not stab me. You feel me? I fought like a motherfucker for my life. He had the knife and I didn't. See, that's the difference between me and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers that jump on these YouTube channels. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna still talk. I had to cut the camera off. But that's the difference between me and other dudes that would jump on these YouTube channels and tell these one-sided stories about 50 niggas that they knocked out, never taking no losses, never giving you full descriptive details in any battles that they've been in, whether you won or lost. I don't consider this situation that I'm telling y'all about today as a loss. Absolutely not. It's a war story. You feel me? It's a war story. I got battle wounds to show y'all. And I have people that was there. You know what I'm saying? That can attest to this. I mentioned specific names of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all, it's video footage of this shit somewhere around online. You know what I'm saying? And these people, Baby Loke, Ron, them, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, from Grape Street, it's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? My nigga. They can jump on this motherfucker and tell you the story better than I can. Straight up. It's all facts. You feel me? But make no mistakes. I did not lose that. Although he had the knife and I didn't. You feel me? He had all the physical, you know what I'm saying, marks. I had a couple of scratches, like I said. No stab wounds. Although that nigga was trying to take my life. High off of the fucking crystal meth. That's why I hate and despise that shit to this day. Crystal meth. You could never get me to sell it. You could never get me to indulge in it. None of that shit. Do I look down on people that utilize it? Hey, I look at it like this, man. You indulge in what you indulge in. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about how you carry yourself in what you indulge in. I smoke THC, and that's it. So if I carry myself in a bad light off of that shit, then you have every right to judge me about it. But if I don't and I pull some shit like this bitch ass nigga did, hey, you fair game, nigga, to, you know, whatever criticism that comes to you, period. So, but anyway, yeah, you know, so we ended up going to the hole, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, um, we ended up getting out. They couldn't put the knife on him or me. So in their reports, which by the way, I think I still have those reports from way back then, you know what I'm saying, that I can show y'all. Because like I said, I got receipts to everything that I present to this round table. Everything with witnesses. You feel me? And again, this is not the glamorization of prison life or any of this shit. As you can see, I'm portrayed as the victim in this. I didn't have a knife. He did. He tried to unalive me. I didn't try to unalive him. I didn't have my shit on me. You feel me? So no, this ain't the glamorization of this shit. This is to teach you niggas. You come to prison, you go to prison, and you bring your demons with you, your bad habits, you end up in particular situations like this. This is where a lot of dudes get their careers ended. After that, he ended up going to a PC yard, the dude from Whisset Avenue, right? Because there was no way after pulling a stunt like he pulled, after doing everything that he did, that you can exist on any main line. You hollered at the Southsider's wife. You sent her pictures of your private parts. You accused some other Crips of snitching. And then you admitted to having your mama call the prison and snitching on these Crips. Then to put the icing on the cake, you come out high as fuck and try to stab another Crip for no reason. I done nothing to him. Like I told y'all, I made it my business to stay away from this dude because they was telling me already that he was up beating himself up in the cell by himself. You know what I'm saying? Up for 4 days, high as a motherfucker, tripping, seeing demons and ghosts. I made it my business to stay away from him. So there was absolutely no reason for him to come out and do what he tried to do to me. But you can find yourself in situations like this. You give up your freedom with your family and kids and loved ones to come and indulge in prison with some shit like that, where niggas bring their demons with them and allow that shit to come out because they can't control this shit. And you end up having to either kill these niggas or try to kill them, or them try to kill you. Imagine that. And again, excuse my background, but this is a story that I had to bring to the round table. So the background don't matter. We gonna fight through it like we always do. You know what I'm saying? But what I bring to y'all is always all factuals. Always. To teach y'all, to make you understand on them level 4 yards, 180, maximum security, prison yards. This is the type of shit that goes down. A lot of y'all peoples have major, major bad drug habits that they indulging in. that causes them to end up in situations like this, doing bullshit like this, in which I don't support. I can never stand behind any of that. But this is one of the things that goes on. So make it make sense to me. You trade your freedom to be around some shit like this because it happens all the time. Niggas is indulging in crystal meth and spice and overdosing and dying off of crystal meth and spice. And they lacing all this shit with fentanyl now. So the death rate is going up further and further and further, more and more. Younger and younger. I see young niggas, 19, 20 years old, sprung out on crystal meth, black tar heroin, the worst of the worst kind of drugs. And these are the major drugs that they lacing the fentanyl in, although they putting it in all the drugs. Nothing is safe no more. Niggas is using this shit as a coping mechanism, to pass their days in isolation, in incarceration, instead of facing that shit like they're supposed to as a man, as a stand-up man. Because look, after you come down off that high, you're going to wake up and you're going to still be inside that fucking cell, still doing time. Under whatever time the judge handed down to you, you still going to be doing that after your high go down. Whatever you going through in your life, that shit is not going to change when that high come down. You escape that shit for what? A couple hours? However long that shit have you high? You do whatever under the midst of being intoxicated under that drug. Foolish ass shit. And then guess what? That high is gone and you back to dealing with reality. You back sitting in that motherfucking jail cell. You back dealing with the time that that judge gave you. Ain't no escaping that shit. So why indulge? But again, those are demons that is brought from the streets. Ain't shit that motherfucker stored in no jail cell. Y'all using that as an excuse and a fucking crutch. You feel me? Think about how simple-minded you being by indulging in that shit and then utilizing whatever excuse that you use to justify that you indulging. It makes no sense. All you doing is bringing yourself down, your morale and everything that you're supposed to stand for. And then you got clear-minded people that don't fuck with none of that, that see right through that shit, see right through you. I have niggas all the time high off that shit and then try to come around and act normal. Your normalcy is completely off. Because if I've seen you off of that shit, okay, I see this nigga. Bam. Then I see you on it. You completely off. But you trying to have us convinced that you not on, nigga. We see right. We know you high. Because you acting weird as fuck and you doing weird shit. You feel me? But yeah, man, I just wanted to bring this story to y'all. I don't want to hold y'all up, you know what I'm saying, too much longer. You know what I mean? I thought it was very necessary, that I show both sides of the coin because I told the story about the last show that I did, about the little dude that had called me out and the fight that I had with him and how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? And that's me. You know what I'm saying? I've told stories about, when the Southside Mexicans and it took off on me in the chains. I told y'all stories about when the North Days tried to take off on me and they all had knives. You know what I'm saying? Wins and losses. If I bring this shit to y'all, I'm not no fucking superhero and won every fight and then knocked out 50 niggas and stabbed up 100 niggas. You know what I'm saying? came out victorious and everything. Hell no, that's not realistic. And anybody that would have you believe that they are that victorious is a buster. And they painting they painting false narratives for their self benefit. You know what I'm saying? Which y'all should be smart enough and savvy enough to be able to see through this bullshit that's being put on the internet by these buster ass niggas. Anybody that will have you believe that they did all this superhero type shit with zero losses, they don't tell you about, the downs as well as the ups. Y'all stupid as fuck, man, for jumping into that and believing on the set. You feel me? Because I'm not gonna say losses, but because you always, I look at it as gaining the upper hand in different situations. The element of surprise will always give you the upper hand. Whether it's you that's doing the element of surprise or the element of surprise is happening to you. You got to look at it like that because that's what it is. Point blank, period. You feel me? But look, I'm going to go ahead and close this off. I've held y'all up long enough. I appreciate y'all stepping back to this round table to hear me out, to hear this story. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy as it is, it's all factuals. You know what I'm saying? And the people that I named in the story is still around. Well, I know my nigga Baker LeBron is from Great Street Watts. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hope this helps somebody. I hope this teaches y'all. You know what I'm saying? I hope it helps somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? Encourage you not to want to go to prison, not to want to go to jail, because this is the type of shit that you deal with. It's a lot of fucking dope things in jail. And like I said, they bring their fucking demons out in jail because they feel like the rest of the world ain't gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the world always finds out, nigga. You know what I mean? But on that note, hey, I thank you all, man, for joining me back at this round table for another session, another edition. You know what I'm saying? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Share this shit. Start sharing these videos, man, that I put out there to y'all, to people that you think it can help. And even if you think they don't need it, they might get it and see it and know somebody that they can share it to, that they might know that it can help. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it helps build the channel. It don't cost y'all nothing. This is all for free. You know what I'm saying? So let's build this thing up and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? But I love and appreciate you all, man, for always stepping to this round table when I call upon y'all to do so. You know what I'm saying? To all the new viewers, again, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Swing Low Podcast Show, Do Rock Creek. You know what I'm saying? This is helping us. This is putting us in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And this is furthering us for the future. You know what I mean? On that note, y'all stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Love and appreciate each other. Show each other, man. You know what I'm saying? That you're there. The support and the love is always there. If you really care about them, if you really give a fuck about them, do that. You feel me? And it will come back to you. You know what I mean? Other than that, hey, y'all continue to enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. I love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? To the next time we meet at this round table, love y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Triple gang.